What's up, Rebels? It's Tony Wilson, your managing editor at Front Towards Gamer. I'm here with Nigel Laury from Devolver Digital. Nigel, how you doing, man? How's the everything?
Everything is great. It's actually a lot of fun. PAX has started. A lot of people enjoying the games, and we're showing off a lot of kind of different games from all of our developers right now. And energy is high, man. Energy is high.
That's great. Sounds good, Nigel. So we're going to talk about Hotline Miami 2, because I think that is. I mean, it's obviously incredibly anticipated.
Yeah.
So I think one of the first things I got to ask is, where does Hotline Miami 2 pick up? I think that's probably the biggest question.
It picks up, I think, about 5 or 6 years after the end of Hotline Miami 1. So Hotline Miami 1 was, in the 80s, and this is the early 90s. And we're following a lot of different groups that had some sort of stake or some sort of obsession with the events of the first game. So there's some copycat killers. There's all these different kind of characters that you're going to kind of see and meet and play as in Hotline Miami 2. As the story gets unveiled, it all comes to kind of a conclusion.
Now, is this going to be a, I don't want to say clearer story, but like, is this going to be maybe a stronger story or just a bigger tale in general than the first game?
I think the first game kind of set the stage, and a lot of the story in the second game is really filling in some of the gaps and tying up some of the loose ends.
Okay. Now, along with, new story, new levels, new whatever, obviously there's going to be new weapons.
Yeah.
We had baseball bats, golf clubs, any sort of gun you could think of before. What kind of new weapons are we going to see in Hotline Miami 2?
Well, right now, there's a lot of stuff that hasn't been revealed, but you'll see simple melee weapons from like a chain that you can kind of slap guys and break them. Okay. The bear actually carries 2 Uzis. The swans carry chainsaws. So there's things like that that kind of not necessarily step the gore up, but they're a new way of spilling blood.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but did I hear or see something about dual wielding stuff?
Yeah, the bear mask in the game, that character is able to carry. They start with 2 large SMGs, and they're able to fire them left and right and forward. And then once the ammo runs out of that, he picks up weapons like a normal character.
Okay. Now, so we got the bear mask.
Yeah.
We had so many masks in the previous game. What sort of new animals, new masks are we going to have this time around?
There's actually a lot fewer masks because some of these characters that you meet are not related to that kind of mass vigilante group. So right now there's the bear, the swans, the zebra, and the tiger. And there's 1 or 2 other ones in there I don't want to give away quite yet. If you look at the trailer, it kind of hints at a couple. But it's actually it's a lot less masked characters. And the new characters you haven't met yet aren't necessarily wearing masks.
Now, are they going to be, I guess, more set apart then if there are fewer of them? Because, we had, like 20, 30 in the first game, and there was variety to them, but some were somewhat similar. So with a fewer number, does that mean these masks are going to be more unique and have more varied properties?
Yeah, correct. The masks are going to be wildly different on how they play. Same thing with the characters. Some of the characters, the gameplay style changes quite a bit. So they're not so much perks anymore as they are like entire different ways to play the game.
Gotcha. All right, now I guess the one last thing I got to ask is, Hotline Miami 2, what is it this time that's really making this the new game, setting it apart, the big new addition, or is it just more of the same, even though that was a good same?
Right. Actually, I think it's a combination of both. At face value, it's very similar, more of the same, I guess, if you will. But once you play the whole game, you'll realize I think the story's a little more interwoven or deeply woven, I guess. And the gameplay style, like I said, varies quite a bit from character to character. So that'll be different. It's not the first game. The characters played relatively similarly, but these new characters play very differently in some cases.
Excellent. Well, we're going to go get some hands-on time with it now. Definitely looking forward, Dylan and I are looking forward to getting some hands-on with this. Nigel, thank you very much for doing this with me. Guys, keep it locked in Front Towards Gamer for all the PAX stuff you could want.